I mean, this game was not competitive. It was a turnover fest for Duke. I think I counted probably 22 times this game that Miami had at least a 3-on-1 break. We had guys walking back, just ugly basketball from the Blue Devils. They looked like a team that just had their emotional climax of their season less than 36 hours ago. And they go into Miami tonight. Larinagas boys just blew the doors off them, as a good team should do. I'm starting to take Miami seriously as a good team. Should I do that, T.O.? Are you in on the Hurricanes again this year?
First of all, excellent wording and how you did that. Emotional climax of the season. Excellent wording. Proud of you. Well done. Secondly, Miami's been good all season. And the fact that Duke starts 2 7-footers and Norchad Ormier was that good and that consistent all game. That dude's a beast. He reminds me of Trevor Booker, guys. Same kind of build, big, strong, stocky body, able to finish, rebounds with the big fellas. Like, he's really, really good. But whoever decided to give Duke an at Miami game 2 days after playing Duke UNC, that's messed up. And that is some bias in the ACC offices. And it needs to be addressed, world. It needs to be addressed. How do you do that to a team full of freshmen? It's crazy.
That never would have happened if Coach K was still there.
No, he would have called the league office immediately.
Yeah, immediately. I think this is one of those ones. What do you call them in the NBA? Schedule losses.
Yeah.
Right. Scheduled losses. That's just one of those ones where you come off of a win like you had against North Carolina. You come off of the peak of what college basketball is about when you play in the ACC and when you play in Chapel Hill, when you play on Tobacco Road, and then you have to go on the road to take on a Miami team that has kind of found their gear and is hitting their ceiling and is playing some of the best basketball that we've seen them playing this season. It's a tough ask. You know, the hardest thing I think about being a freshman is figuring out how to deal with the success, right? Understanding that just because you got this one big win, it doesn't mean that the next time you play, when it's on the road in front of a packed house, in front of a bunch of Miami Marlins players were there, they're not just going to roll over, right? That is a good basketball team that had a full building that was going absolutely crazy. Jim Larinaga was out there throwing his money around. Like it said a lot about Miami, but I think that it just kind of showcased the youth of this Duke team. Well, that was my biggest takeaway. Like I'm still there on Duke, like being a team that can make some noise if they get healthy, when Jeremy Roach plays well, assuming that Derek Lively keeps being the guy that, I mean, he was still pretty good defensively tonight. He didn't have a great game offensively, and like as a team, this was not their best performance, but he still had 5 blocks. He had 11 points. Like it's not like he played badly. They just looked like a team that was the hangover. Is that probably the best way to say? They had a little bit
that's what
Carolina
it looked like.
hangover.
And guys, when you open up the first 8 minutes of a game at Miami, a ranked team, a really good team, in the first 7 minutes of the game, Duke missed 6 layups, 2 wide open threes, and got a non-tip in called out. So basically, what did they leave on the board? 18 points, wide open shots, layups. You got to hit those on the road, especially when some of the guys you're playing with have 6 and 7 inch height differences. You got to finish those. And I know Omier is a load, but at the same time, like, you got to hit those. And I don't know what's going on, but Filipowski will not throw the lob to Derek Lively. What did you guys see that as many times as I did? They're doing some 5-out ball screen motion, and they're kind of getting what they want. Lively's wide open. They're not throwing it. I think that's I'm not sure what's happening.
The problem is that's another just kind of, this is what happens when you have freshmen, right? When has Kyle Filipowski ever been asked to kind of come off of those little like 4 or 5 ball screens and throw a ball up to the rim? What is he ever?
No, he's on the reverse. He's on the reverse. So basically, he's coming off a ball screen on the side at the 45. He's kicking it ahead, and on the kick ahead, you have the lob.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like when
he's
has
not
he ever been asked to throw that pass, to see that pass,
high low?
Yeah, to understand that it's just that, to me, that's one of those things where it's like, okay, this is something that he'll develop over the years. But I mean, they're freshmen, man. It's kind of hard. Sometimes freshmen play like freshmen, T.O. There's a reason why they say the best thing about freshmen is they become sophomores.
Not those freshmen.
Fair.
Not those freshmen. They don't become sophomores.
Derek Lively might. Derek Lively might become.
There's no chance. He's combined for what, 14 blocks in the past 2 games?
Yeah, there's no chance.
See you, buddy.
There's no chance. T.O., tell me if this is a crazy take. Is this team just bad on the road? I mean, they're 2-5 in ACC play. Whether you want to call it inexperience, whether you want to call it, I don't know if we were alluding to some chemistry stuff there between the front court guys.
No. That's
whatever.
Not what I'm saying.
Like,
I'm saying like he's just not seeing it, and a lot goes to what Rob's saying. They're just not seeing it, and so basically, I say all that to say this: like, I still like the shots that Duke was getting. They just missed a bunch of them, and the problem is when you're a bunch of freshmen, you get deflated when you miss a bunch of those layups. You get deflated. I'm curious to know. You said what'd you say the record was on the road?
2-5 on the road in ACC play.
What was it with Jeremy Roach not there? Do you have any idea? That's probably a tough thing to answer right away.
I can dig it quickly. Just stall for me for like 15 seconds.
I could probably stall, but to me, like, he's the guy that has to pick you up a little bit, and he was getting spots, but you miss layups at the beginning of the game, as many as they did in the first 6 or 7 minutes. It's going to take it out of you. But
it was 1 and 4,
said,
1 and 4 with 1 and 4 with Roach. Only one of those road games.
So that doesn't matter necessarily.
Yeah. Roach and Proctor also combined to go 4 for 13 from the floor with 5 turnovers.
Yeah.
I mean, 10 turnovers. They had 5 turnovers each.
Guys, as much as we're on Duke, and Duke didn't play their best game, but Miami looked great. And Miami just came off. It wasn't an emotional win in the sense of, Duke, UNC, obviously, but going up to Clemson, number 1 seed Clemson, and then winning, and then they have to go back home and turn it around in 48 hours. Like, they slept away from the house for that one, had to come home and get ready to play. So this Miami team, what's made them so dangerous, and the reason I picked them in the Elite Eight, and the reason they made the Elite Eight last year, I'm just going to keep throwing that in there as many times as I possibly can, because that's what I'm going to do. The reason being is because Isaiah Wong can create. Nigel Pack can create. They have guards that can really make things happen. But that wasn't the case today, guys. Like Wooga Poplar, he flourished today off of ball movement. They were running second and third side offense, and they had Duke's freshmen in a tizzy trying to get to rotations.
Well, it's because they play they play 5 out. They play 5 guard. Like their whole thing is, we're going to make it difficult for you to guard us, right?
Yeah.
And it also helps when the guy that hasn't hit a 3-pointer all season long makes 2 of them, right? That's always a little bit of found money, a little bit of it's like when the first day of winter, when you reach into the pocket of your jacket and you find that $20 bill. That's basically what Norwich had on Mears.
You can't have money, can you, Greg?
Yeah.
Sure
can't hide money. Field 68's crushing it. Can't hide money.